Hello, Alan Patching here with another post for Transforming Minds. And in our last couple of posts, we've looked at phobias in particular as one of the key 5 anxiety disorders, specific phobias we call them. And we've looked at progressive desensitization in a physical, if you like, sense, and also being used as a hypnotherapeutic technique. Now, I did mention in our last post that we talk a little bit about using anchoring together with hypnotherapy to help you with the overcoming of phobias. Let's have a look at how that works. Now, anchoring is simply the process of using some trigger from one of your senses, and for our example here, because it's very common, we're going to talk about a physical trigger or what we call a kinesthetic trigger, like squeezing the fist gently or squeezing the fingers together or whatever. So connecting that in the subconscious brain or subconscious mind with a physical response such as relaxation. Now, it's nothing fancy, it's quite simple. I'll give you a couple of examples. We mentioned the stop sign or the stop light. You see it while you're driving, it happens automatically. You don't say, oh, there's a hexagonal sign, it's red, it's got white around the edge, it's got the letters STOP, I need to raise my foot and put it on the brake. You simply keep chatting to whoever you're with or thinking whatever you're thinking in the car, and you come to a halt. Think about being in a shopping centre or an airport where there's a moving walkway or an escalator. And when we step onto those things, we just naturally change our balance, and it's a matter of course. But if you step onto an escalator one day and it's not moving, or a moving walkway that's not moving, you'll find yourself tripping and losing your balance. Why? Because your brain has automatically adjusted for the balance, expecting that the escalator or the walkway was moving. And when it's not, you trip. So you've had an automatic response to the visual trigger of the escalator, but it was not required in this case because it wasn't moving, but still you tripped. So anchoring is something you do in everyday life. You get dressed in pretty much the same order every day. Put the same leg into your undies or your pants, trousers first. And it feels weird if you do it the other way around. Your watch is on the same wrist pretty much every day. We put our jewellery on if we're women, or men these days as well, or makeup, whatever, in pretty much the same order every time. It's just subconscious and routine. What we want to do is establish another subconscious routine between seeing or experiencing something that used to upset us and having relaxation. Now, we've talked about the progressive desensitization to reduce the anxiety effect. But what happens if you're still having some effect when you go, to continue our example, on the flight? Well, the concern is, of course, that the human brain is different from the animal brain in that a bird just knows how to be a bird and a dog just knows how to be a dog. If a cat gets a fright, it jumps up, looks around and goes, oh, nothing to worry about, and just plops down and goes to sleep again. We don't. We get our charge and we go, what if it got worse? What if this did happen? And we play the what if game. And the what if game leads to rumination of all these disastrous possibilities in the future, which raise that somatic feeling, those feelings of anxiety in our body, and then we've triggered the cycle again. So we need something in addition to our hypnotherapeutic progressive desensitization that allows us to come back quickly. And that's where we use a technique called anchoring. And anchoring is just taking the principle behind stopping at a stop sign or adjusting our body for when we move onto a walkway and using it when we want to use it instead of just anywhere in the world. So what we do is, during the process of helping people to relax, to deal with these phobias, we get them to squeeze their fist gently when they're feeling very relaxed. We train them to relax themselves using progressive relaxation or self-hypnosis, and at their deepest point of relaxation to form a link between that state of relaxation and a physical trigger, such as squeezing the fingers together or gently squeezing a fist. And by building that up and building it up and building it up, a person can quite quickly get to the point where they're feeling a little bit stressed over anything, and they can fire that anchor and very quickly calm down and relax again. So once they're at a good level of proficiency on this through practice, they can go on their flight with a much reduced level of anxiety to the phobia of flying, which is the example we've been using, but it applies to most phobias. And then when they're there, if there is some sort of reaction, instead of going into the what if game, they can fire off their anchor and they have a pretty good chance of bringing things back into a manageable range of feeling and anxiety, if any. It's a simple but in a sense as complex as that. So if you need some help with this, go and see a good hypnotherapist, psychologist or psychotherapist, and I'm sure they'll be able to help you out with the technique. And the next blog will be about helping you to make a decision about who you should see. And I'll look forward to seeing you then. For now, I'm Alan Patchen. Bye.